All right, you recording?
Right. Well, I'm not recording, but this is
I'm recording.
slate check.
Okay.
100 hertz, 10 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz, and you set your levels. And then this is the 24 track
Okay.
right here. It's a Mera Machines MCI JH24, and kind of like the staple of 24. This was the first reliable 24 track 2-inch tape machine.
Okay.
And,
oh yeah. Where'd you say your board came from too? John?
Oh, this came from they built these in England, and then this belonged to Reba McEntire, and I drove out to California. Her engineer bought it, and then Sean Taylor bought it, and then I'm the fourth owner. Okay. So, and I have 2 channels that I blew up and they're getting repaired, and then 2 other channels I just need to make a couple of repairs on.
Okay.
But other than that, it works great.
Oh yeah, let me go see your tape machines.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is the Mera Machines, and producer Chris Mera, makes these, and well, he doesn't make them; he buys them. They're not made anymore,
Okay,
but he finds them and refurbishes them, warranties them, and gives lifetime tech support. And for example, this is each channel. So there's 8 and 8 and 8 for 24 tracks. So this is your playback card, your output, your record card. And these came out in the early 80s. And they've been working literally, since then. Well, anyway, it can stay out. But this is, so if we were tracking 24 tracks, we'd have 1 through 8 drums, say, to get a full kit. And then you could put your scratch guitars on 9, 10, scratch vocals on 11. And then you start building, usually your bass tracks will come next. And you've got 24 tracks to work with. Now, if you decide to use a 16 track, what you have is you end up getting a smaller tape. A bigger track count. So I'm going to show you on the video. If you come in here and zoom in on the heads, this is and this is also this.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. Each one of those is a different track. Okay, so it starts out 1, 2, the black part, and this is the erase head. This is the record head, and this is the playback head. So and these are the guides, and this is the tape lifter.
Okay.
So when it's fast forward and rewinding, it lifts it off so it doesn't wear down the tape heads. Now, after say 20 years, you've got to have them rebuilt like a car engine. So it costs about $300, but they shave them down actually.
Oh wow!
And when that has to be done is when you see on the edges of the tape, which that's track 1 and that's track 24 down there, you'll start to have a frequency response loss. So that's when you send them off and you just pull off the head stack.
Oh,
but what I was saying about the 16 track is the tracks are even wider.
Oh wow!
And so like on the 1/2 inch right there, the tracks are 2 of these.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So you see 2 of these black, 2 of these tracks equal 1 track. So the fatter the track, the magnetic head, the higher the fidelity, and the bigger the sound.
Oh wow!
But with this format, the 24 track gives you a very high fidelity format, and this has been the staple of the recording industry for 40 years.
Oh wow! That's
yeah,
awesome.
and still used in major studios.
And I noticed you got your isolation cap here too.
Oh
that's
yes,
awesome, yeah.
And that
room,
helps.
That's a whole room. Let's see if I can.
Because I don't have my commercial studio like I used to.
Anyway, let's find get back to see open the door a little bit.
But
door soundproof and everything.
Yeah, it's good for
your
vocals. Yeah, you can.
Is there like a light in there?
Yeah, and there's actually an air vent that sucks air through.
Oh wow!
And so yeah, I'll let you step in.
Okay.
And so when you hear yourself speak, it's dead.
Oh,
You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
So the mic would go right there.
Oh wow,
and,
that's cool.
Yeah, and so the door right there, and then you would hear me through the headphones.
Okay, got you, John. Okay.
And so that's how that works. If you don't have a regular traditional studio, since I'm doing this in my house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, the vocal booth
Check out
really
those
helps.
amps too, man. Those are monster
Yeah,
amps.
that's the power supply, and that's the
Yeah,
backup power supply for the console.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is a big sucker.
Yeah.
And everything has power conditioners on it. You've got to have it to protect the gear,
Yeah.
you know, from surges and that kind of stuff. But this is basically just an extra room, and I use it as a tape room. And so, yeah, but that's how these work. And so you can buy. My point is that you can buy. Actually, I did this incorrectly. You can buy a 16-track head stack and actually swap it out with a 24 as needed. And so if you wanted to get like a fatter sound, kind of like Nirvana, let's say Nirvana Nevermind was recorded on an 8-track. So that has an even wider, an 8-track is as wide as this.
Oh, wow,
I don't
okay.
want to touch this because we're in the
yeah,
process
yeah.
of recording, but that's basically, if you look at that head, half of that is a tape width of an 8-track. So that's why their sound was so big on
Oh, wow.
Smells Like Teen Spirit and all those grunge songs.
Okay, awesome there, John.
Right, and they tracked those to tape.
Let me go see your computer section of it.
Yeah,
there,
sure.
too. Yeah, right, quick if that's all right.
And so this just allows easy access for
coming in this way, right?
making electronic music, and then we have we're using Lynx converters, which are 24 tracks together, 8 and 16. They're synchronized, and so I can record 24 tracks of tape, record it, play it right back, and go right into Pro Tools, and it sounds flawless.
Yeah, sure does.
So
Wow,
the
that's
bulk of the
awesome.
editing is then done in Pro Tools. But we do run through the board and track through the board.
Yeah, they just Osborne is a TAC. What's the name?
It's a TAC matchless
Okay.
made by a mech.
Okay, and you got all your monitors over there too. So
Exactly. And excuse me.
Oh.
And that actually, those 2 meters came off of a MCI 2-track, like that Atari.
Okay.
But I had Chris build those for me just so I could have VUs instead of looking at the LED VUs.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I have actually special paint in here that
wow.
it's called Supertherm. If you fill it,
Okay.
it actually absorbs sound.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's very thick. It's the same kind of paint. It's the same paint they use on the space shuttle.
Oh wow, that is
Yeah,
cool. I feel
it
like
is.
It
Yep.
does feel
Yeah,
cool.
you have to
Yeah.
roll it on. You can't use a brush.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Well, thanks for giving us a tour
Oh,
of the,
man, my
the
pleasure, dude.
studio there, John.
Yeah.
See that? All right. Thanks
And,
everybody for watching. Well, I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.